A student on a shooting rampage has carried out Thailand's worst mass killing in nearly 4 years. The 14-year-old turned the gun on himself after opening fire nearly 30 times inside his school, just outside of capital Bangkok. 5 people were killed, all of them teachers and staff. Before that, the teen gunman is believed to have shot dead his grandparents at home. Police say the gun belonged to the grandfather. An additional 34 rounds were recovered. Around 30 people were wounded, most of them students fleeing the shooting.
ก็ผิดก็ตอนนั้นก็เกิดเรื่องอะไรนี่ขึ้นครับอยู่ได้ยินเสียงขึ้นมาจากอาคาร5ครับแล้วก็ไม่รู้ว่ามันเป็นยังไงต่อทีแรกผมก็คิดว่าเล่นๆว่าคงจะแบบเสียงประทัดหรือว่าใครตีอะไรดังๆหรือเปล่าเสร็จปุ๊บไปเรื่อยมันเริ่มไม่ใช่แล้วมันก็มีแบบมาประมาณแบบหลายนัดนะครับเสียงปึ้งปึ้งปึ้งผมก็มันก็เงียบไปช่วงนึงครับแล้วก็ยิงมาใหม่ปั้งอันนี้ทีแรกผมไม่คิดว่ามันจะเป็นปืนนะใช่ครับพอเสร็จปุ๊บพวกผมก็จะมาเข้าห้องน้ำคิดว่ามันจบไม่มีอะไรใช่ครับผมเข้าน้ำทีนี้พอเข้าเสร็จผมก็เดินมาทางนู้นแล้วก็ครูก็ตะโกนว่ารีบมาเลยมันวิ่งไปอาคาร4แล้วทีนี้พวกผมก็วิ่งมาต่อเลยครับแล้วก็บอกทุกเราบอกระวังอยู่ล่างได้ยินเสียง1 นัดแล้วทางพี่ๆเขาผมได้บอกว่ามีผู้บาดเจ็บ1 รายก็เลยขึ้นไปก็คือน้องยิงศีรษะไปที่ด้านขวายิงตรงนี้เลยใช่ครับยิงมาแล้วก็แบบหลบแล้วก็ยิงที่ด้านขวาแล้วก็ล้มลงแล้วก็เลยขึ้นไปปุ๊บไปเช็คที่ประจรน้องยังมีอยู่แล้วก็เลย CPR กันช่วย CPR ขึ้นมาพอเห็นสัญญาณ CPR ปุ๊บแล้วก็ให้ทางพี่ๆปอยตึงก็เลยเอาบอร์ดขึ้นมาเพื่อนำน้องไปลงครับ
Thailand's Prime Minister arriving at the school within hours of the incident, hinting at possible motives. And Saksith Saiyasombut joins us from the site of the shooting in Nonthaburi in Thailand. Saksith, what has Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul have had to say? What has he hinted at as far as motives are concerned?
Now, we have to take a highest degree of cautions when we are talking about possible motives, because the investigators are still going through and are still carrying out the work. That never stops Thai prime ministers from openly speculating about possible motives, and and Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul is no exception in that regard. He has told the media that hinting that distress or stress at home was one of the reasons behind it, but he has also insisted that there were other rumors. He has dismissed other rumors and possible factors that might have played here a role, and has more focused on the firearm itself. As you have mentioned before, the firearm belonged to the grandfather that he killed before attacking the school. It was a legally registered firearm before then he came here, and as according to our information, has targeted specific school staff and teachers on his rampage, killing 5 people before turning the gun on himself. That is when rescue operators have found him and were still carrying out CPR and have then rushed him into hospital, but that's where he then was pronounced dead. About 30 people also were injured, the majority of them, as we understand, not by gunshot wounds, but the ensuing mass panic. But of course, going forward, there are, of course, whenever something like this happens, there is going to be discussions about what is going to happen next. And this is what Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul told us.
When I became Prime Minister, one of my to-do things is to issue a new law regarding weapons. And it is still in the process.
Saksith, gun control, Mr. Anutin hinting that it could cover on various fronts. For example, access and use of weapons, access to and use of weapons. But he has not at this point made any promise for example, stepping up security for checks into schools.
Yeah, he has hinted, he has given no details whatsoever what these new rules or what this legislation could look like. we have to expand this a little bit and to explain and put this a little bit more into context. We, as you have mentioned, that there have been a series of gun violence incidents over the course of the years, and with those after those incidents, in the aftermath, there have been subsequent executive orders being made. Anutin Charnvirakul was Interior Minister at that time and has issued an executive order banning the use of or the carrying of firearms in public, and also has suspended the issuing of new firearms. But that doesn't change the fact that Thailand has a pretty high gun ownership. About 6 million weapons are registered legally. Another 4 million are estimated to be illegally owned. And then also another unknown number of black market guns, modified blank firing guns that could have been used and have been used in other incidents as well. And also, just to put that in context as well, that statistic that I just gave you, those numbers are from 2018, so they're already quite old. The Interior Ministry hasn't given out any new numbers updated whatsoever. On school security, Prime Minister Anutin has rejected the notion that there should be, for example, airport-like security with X-ray machines and so on. But he definitely agrees with his education minister that there needs to be some tightening, some strengthening of school security. But again, very short on details, as we are still reeling from this tragedy. But then again, we've been here this before. We have heard these discussions in the aftermath of these tragedies, and as strong as these laws have always been written, but they are pretty much useless if they are not being properly enforced. And that is, again, the case here in Thailand after another day of a tragic school shooting here in Nonthaburi province.
Well, thanks. Saksith Saiyasombut at the scene of that school shooting in Thailand's Nonthaburi province. Thanks for that, Saksith.